Episode 044.
My name is Sarah Hunstead. I am a paediatric nurse, so I studied my Bachelor of Nursing and I have a Master's in Critical Care Nursing as well. And now I am the founder of CPR Kids, and we empower parents and carers with the life-saving skills of baby and child first aid. If a parent can understand that we can take away that feeling of helplessness, that we can give you that sense of confidence, that we can make your learning so relevant that you can walk out of there going, you know what, I've got this. If something happens, I know I can at least do something, and that's what every parent needs to have.
Welcome to Innovator Diaries, a show where influencers and leaders from all walks of life share their story and experiences. You learn the strategies and action points that have helped them find success and get to where they are today. You'll hear their stories and valuable advice to help you on your own path. These messages may also help somebody you know, so please share. Sarah, thank you so much for being here today. You've been doing nursing for more than 20 years, so that's really impressive. And I'm a new parent. I did one of your courses and I thought it was so useful. And I think every other parent and couple attending the course found it useful as well. And for me, every new parent that doesn't have the skills to save lives should do it. I finished the course feeling a little bit empowered and with peace of mind. And if something happens, at least you know what to do. And one of the messages was, if it comes to the worst case scenario, just do it, because then we can save whatever organ or whatever it is and take action.
Yeah,
you know?
That's
and
right.
because you start to doubt so much that you don't do anything, and it's just take action, do something, just do it, basically.
No,
you know?
that's exactly right.
So thank you so much for your time today.
Pleasure.
To start, if you could please tell me a little bit about your childhood and who was the most influential person in that stage of your life.
Going back to my childhood, it certainly wasn't exactly a conventional one as such. It was quite upside down. My parents divorced when I was 8. I grew up in Melbourne, and my mother had severe mental illness. So she had bipolar, and also she had a drug and alcohol addiction issue. And so once my parents divorced, I lived with her. She was on a disability pension because of her mental illness. She couldn't work, and I became her sole carer. And so the reason I call it upside down is because I was the parent and she was the child. I look back and sometimes I not mourn's probably the wrong word, but I feel like I missed out on a childhood. That from a very young age, having the responsibility to run the household, and I'm an only child as well, so it literally was just her and I. And I felt a huge responsibility for her. Yeah, it wasn't great, but in the same token, I'd do it again because I feel like that doing all of that hard stuff really young and going through all of that has set me up for my outlook on life now. And I can remember going through a really, really hard patch with her where she was really, really unwell. She was refusing hospitalisation. Her drug addiction and alcoholism were just spiralling out of control. And I remember being about 15 and thinking to myself, I'm going to make a choice here. I can choose whether to give up and go down the same path that she has, or I can choose to learn from her mistakes and make my life how I think it should be and never do this to my children if I ever have any. Because I must admit at that time, I never saw a life for myself outside of looking after her. I couldn't see a future. I couldn't see, I remember my friends talking about, when they have their careers and a husband and kids and, all that kind of stuff. But for me, I didn't have that vision. It was just keeping her alive. And so she ended up committing suicide when I was 23.
Want to listen to the entire interview? Simply go to innovatordiaries.com/episode number. Or you can find this episode and hundreds of other great stories on Google Podcast, iTunes, Spotify, or whatever your favorite podcast player is. Please check me out on LinkedIn. Follow or connect with me as I'm very proactive on that social network. And finally, subscribe to this YouTube channel. You'll get all the new stories as soon as they're released. See you next time.